Ethiopian Prime Minister's right-hand man has departed. What happened? Why did Mamo Mehretu, National Bank of Ethiopia chief, resigned? Did he develop differences? Is his resignation an admission of failure, or does he have some ambitions? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. Secondly, Eritrea responded to what Ethiopian PM said 2 days ago, talking about GERD. This response was very much expected. What did the Prime Minister of Ethiopia say? And what is Eritrea saying? Lastly, Getachew party leaders are being adjusted on federal level. Ethiopian federal government is appointing them to positions in federal government. Let's start with this news story about Getachew party leaders being appointed by federal government. Then response from Eritrea. At the end, I have some information for you about why Mamo Mehretu resigned today. Know that Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is appointing Getachew group of people to positions in federal government. Getachew, former Tigray president, was appointed state minister, advisor to Ethiopian Prime Minister on East Africa affairs. Then Professor Kindeya, right-hand man of Getachew, was appointed in Federal Ministry of Education. Tiame Redom is also a leader of Getachew Simrat party, and a notification is in circulation showing Tiame's appointment on federal level in Ministry of Health. So, Getachew party leaders, Simrat party leaders are being given portfolios on federal level by the federal government of Ethiopia. Now, where's second news story? Eritrean government's response to what Ethiopian Prime Minister said 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Ethiopian PM talked about GERD, Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. He said that River Nile issue was thousands of years old. We have solved this issue. We will solve sea access issue too. It's just 30 years old. Basically, the man, Ethiopian PM, questioned independence of Eritrea, which happened in 1993 to a referendum. Basically, he questioned that, and he meant that that referendum could be reversed, that a new agreement could be worked on about Eritrea Ethiopia separation. I said that the Ethiopian Prime Minister's talk was specifically directed at Eritrea. He should have been responsible, careful. He should have used diplomatic language. But that was direct attack by the Ethiopian PM against Eritrean government. Eritrean government was expected to respond. A response has come. Even Gabriel responded today saying there is visible saber rattling by Prosperity Party. He calls Prosperity Party Potemkin Party, the party which has created an illusion of prosperity and development in Ethiopia. He said 1993 referendum wasn't conducted under any coercion It was conducted by the will and consent of the Eritrean people, and it's protected in international law. No revision of history. Basically, this is what he meant. That Ethiopia wants to change history. Ethiopia is violating international law, but it's basically aggression. What Ethiopia is doing is provocation. So, war of words ongoing between Eritrea and Ethiopia. Back to main story, viewers. Now, why did Mamo Mehretu, National Bank of Ethiopia chief, resign today? What did he say in his resignation? He worked with the Ethiopian PM for 7 years. Since Ethiopian PM came to power in 2018, Mamu has been part of Ethiopian PM's team about economy. Mamu worked in international financial institutions, experienced man, highly experienced in the matters, in financial matters, worked in different positions. His last portfolio was that of National Bank of Ethiopia governor. Why did he resign? What is he saying firstly? He said that he wants to pursue other passions. By the way, his resignation is full of praise of the Ethiopian Prime Minister. Why? What does it mean? Well, it's clear since he is all praise for the Ethiopian PM, it means the man is not going anywhere. He is not going to be appointed uh, at any international organization, international financial institution. The man, I think, wants to work in Ethiopia in private capacity. That is why he wants to remain close to the Ethiopian PM, and he appreciates the Ethiopian PM a lot in his resignation. And what I have learned is that he wants to work in private banking in Ethiopia. Private banking is a very profitable area of businesses these days. Look at, you must have seen what Joa wrote about Sinke Bank of Oromia. The bank, I think it's from Oromia, the bank has expanded very rapidly in terms of its assets. Ovid Group's expansion and asset increase is also an example. So banks are minting money in Ethiopia. And everyone is minting money in banking sector. Why shouldn't Mamo Mehretu? For the last 7 years, the man has been with Prosperity Party. Why shouldn't he now make money in private banking? So it seems, what I have learned, that he is going to be uh, part of private banking in Ethiopia. He wanted to resign a few months ago. After introducing macroeconomic reforms, he requested the Ethiopian PM that he wanted to resign. Abiy told him to wait, and he waited. Now he resigned. By the way, the macroeconomic reforms introduced by Mamo Mehretu introduced several banking reforms too. I mean, banks have been authorized to buy and sell foreign currency. The banks are relatively more independent now than they were before the macroeconomic reforms. Before, I'm talking about private banks. And foreign banks are also being allowed to enter Ethiopian market, banking sector. So all that was happening. Mamu was leading all these reforms about banking while he was planning to enter private banking in Ethiopia. Maybe he paved the way for his entry in Ethiopian banking sector and introduced all the reforms. He knew that he was going to be a beneficiary of the reforms. He is leaving uh, the Ethiopian economy at a very critical time. Macroeconomic reforms could not kill foreign exchange black market. Black market still flourishing. Inflation could not be considerably uh, controlled. Impact of macroeconomic reforms remains to be seen. Yes, foreign exchange reserves have increased, but it happened because of the IMF and World Bank's direct loans for the Ethiopian government. Will these reforms be of any use? Perhaps that will be clear after a few months or years. But if Prosperity Party now faces economic challenges, it might blame Mamo Mehretu for it. He could be scapegoated by the Prosperity Party for economic challenges, which could happen by the way. But Mamo wants to remain in good books of the Ethiopian PM and he wants to enter Ethiopian private banking sector. Uh, let's see what happens. Resignation will definitely be accepted because after having a discussion with the Ethiopian PM, he tendered his resignation. Thank you for watching.